Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I found a cool explosion on 80 level using Blender and I thought, why not give it a try in Max? So today I'll show you how to recreate it with TyFlow and Vray. It's straightforward, so I'm excited to share it with you. This is the original post that I kinda drew my inspiration from. And yeah, this is the final result. So let's get started. So I'm using a free version of TyFlow, so it's not going to be a problem for anyone, either you're using free or a pro version. Let's start by creating whatever shape we want. Kind of like this. And yeah, let's jump right into the TyFlow. Birth spline. Let's pick it. Let's do immediately a shape. Switch this to geometry. We're gonna use geosphere. I'm gonna use low res right now. And let's do a scale. We're way too small, and like maybe more particles to be created. 200, maybe it's too much, maybe like so. And let's do maybe 2000. Yeah, this should work. Now I'm gonna do property test. I'm gonna do a position Z, and if it's less than, so we're gonna create one keyframe. For this, I'm gonna do linear. I'm gonna hit 500 here. Let's do delete operator here and see. Yeah, 500 is not enough. Let's do maybe 1000. Yeah, okay. So usually your explosion happens in like first few frames. So maybe in frame 20 I would like to finish all of this. Kind of like this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna spawn particles from here. We're gonna do 50 particles, and we're gonna set the speed to random 3D, the magnitude, well, let's just see what's happening. Kinda like so, maybe a bit more magnitude. Yeah, this is good enough. Let's do scale. I'm gonna set the timing to continuous, and I'm gonna 600. Yeah, inherit previous, and I'm gonna do the curve interpolation like so, so they grow. Maybe I need only 10 frames for this to happen. Next I'm gonna do let's say time test, and after like maybe 5 to 5 frames I'm gonna send it to another event and slow them down quite a lot. Let's see here, like so. So maybe let's do a variation, and on the scale as well, the uniform 50%. Maybe it's maybe they're way too big, so let's do 450, 300, 400. Yeah, kind of like so. So this is the base setup for this explosion. Nothing really complicated, nothing too fancy, just some spears. Now, what I would like to do is to birth another spline. Let's see here. I'm gonna do only the first knot. I'm gonna inherit the same operators in here. Actually, the property test as well. And let's do this one as well here. So it's only happening on the first frame. Let's make unique the speed modifier and let's do 7.5, 10. And I would like to change from random 3D to random horizontal with maybe like 20 diversions. Kinda like so. With the same time test event, but maybe let's make it unique and do maybe 8 to 5. And let's send them here as well to slow them down. So kinda like so. I'm definitely needing a lot more particles in here. Maybe let's do 20, 15. Let's do 25, 35. But I would really like to limit their velocity to go only up or to the side. So let's do 20. Kinda like so. We can also do a spawn. So for each 200 particles we also spawn in one more particle. But I would like to... Oh, let's try something else. Let's take these. Like so. We're gonna send them here. Let's do by travel distance, timing set to continuous. Let's see what we're gonna get. As you can see, it's way too much right now, but we're kinda getting there. So maybe the scale gonna be like 200, 250. Oh, sorry. Let's make this unique. Make this 200. So yes, let's. What I did is I changed the scale to 120. That's about it. So yeah, as you can see, it's kinda a lot. So let's maybe do something like this. So we get this nice little shape to the bottom of it. And maybe the scale is not enough because these looks bigger than the bottom ones. So let's maybe change this scale. Let's make this unique and let's do 600. Maybe 750. Kind of like so. Let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like this. Now, if you're gonna have a ground here, you can also play around with the follow. So they kind of, everything just stops at the same time. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now. So what you can do is you can copy this and let's call this one slow top and this one slow bottom follow. So what you can do is you can go to object, turn on surface proximity. Let's see here. So to the bottom it's gonna be like 10%. And let's invert this. It's gonna be 30%. So yeah, as you can see, it's growing a lot more to the bottom. Now you can always play around with the distance. And you can also activate the follow. So I'm gonna do 300 follow, 200 distance. Same here, 300 follow, 200 distance, or maybe even 500 follow, 1 per distance. I think it's gonna be a lot better. Let's see. Maybe let's do 1000 per follow. Let's turn out the first knot to see the shape. Let's check if it's working or not. See here. Let's do maybe 1% here. Yeah, now you can really see. It's a shame we can't really determine the follow-up, the curve of the follow-up, but, well, let's just do maybe 50 here and 50 here. Yeah, kind of like so. Let's turn this back on and let's bring it back to a 10. Also, for the speed in here, let's make it a little bit less, because they're gonna travel longer. Now, again, I'm gonna spawn more particles, and I'm gonna do filter, and if, let's do set timing to advent entry. Let's see here, if the scale is greater than, let's say, let's see, let's display our data. Let's do scale. Let's see here. If the scale is more than 300, we're gonna send them to this event as well. So let's see here. Let's turn off this spawn to see if we're getting any. No. More than 100. Not working. Let's try timing to continuous. And 75. Timing continuous. So if it's more than 75, it works. Let's spawn 2, 3 more offsprings. Yeah, okay. Let's do more than 100. Yeah, I like how it looks. I don't really like that it's getting this mushy effect. So let's change this speed back to 5. Let's see here. We still definitely have the same kind of shape that we had. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 115 here with 115 here. Maybe fall off to 500. To 500. I feel like the speed is not enough, so let's maybe change this to 10. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Now let's copy this, paste instance, make unique, and do a last node. Here's everything the same. Maybe no. Yeah, let's do scale. And let's make them even bigger. Maybe 200. Yeah, like so. Then we're gonna do this. Sorry, paste instance. We're gonna send it out. We don't actually need to visualize this anymore. So 200. I think it's way too much, maybe 50. Let's do unique and 50, and this one as well, make unique. Let's do 15. Like so. Kinda like this. Let's also make the scale unique and do maybe 700 in here. Maybe it's way too big. Let's do 650, 600. Yeah, 600 looks kinda enough. Let's send them to this event as well. Kinda like so. And then here we're sending them in 8 frames, so I'm gonna do kinda the same in here because it's our mushroom, so I would like it to grow a bit bigger and longer. Let's make this unique and do 8, maybe 10. Like this. Yes, okay. So now this one is going from here all the way to here. Now let's rename this to meat, and let's copy this and rename this to top. So I don't actually need a proximity here. What I would like to do is filter, add if the z position is greater than, say, 450. Let's do that. Let's see where we are. There's no timing in here. I don't need the ID, I need the position. So the Z position of this one is 800. Okay. So if Z position is more than, let's say, 650, I would like you to stop exactly the same as here for 10%. Yes. This one, let's do filter. Let's add a filter and do position Z less than 650. So this is what we have. Let's maybe change the timing to 8:10. Let's see. Not enough, let's do 5:10. Okay, so now let's copy all of these except the first one. Let's copy them in here and let's send them to this event as well. So it's getting pretty messy right now. It's gonna get a bit more messy. Sorry about that, but you know, it's just the way TyFlow works. There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we have this nice mushroom in here. I don't need this limiter in here. And the random speed as well. So I'm gonna copy this, paste it in here. I'm gonna take these two in here. I'm gonna change this to random 3D. I'm gonna delete the velocity. Let's see here. Also do it like this. This one is okay. Sorry. Yeah, let's bring them here and do 5. Kind of like this. Now that we have the base shape, let's create the streaks. So let's start with the top one. Let's add another spawn in here. Let's maybe do 0.1%. One offspring. Let's send it to another event. Let me see here. So we're gonna do speed. We're gonna do random 3D because it's on the top, and we're gonna do quite a big magnitude with some variation. Maybe do diversions, but for random 3D it doesn't really matter. Let's also do a gravity in here, and let's slow them down. Now I'm gonna spawn particles based on the travel distance, but before that it's really important to send them to another event. So let's maybe do scale in here. Let's change the timing to continuous and do by travel distance. Let's see. Do we have any? Nothing. Maybe let's do 1%, 10%. 2 particles, 20%, or okay, let's do 23%. So we have 5 particles that generate those trails. And I'm gonna do inherit velocity to 0. So this is what we're gonna get, which is looks funny. But yeah, let's maybe do step size bigger, kind of like so, maybe even bigger, to 5. Let's do 40. Let's turn off the slow modifier and see what's going on in here. Yeah, kinda like so. There's way too much particles in here. So let's maybe do 10, 15, let's do 10. They're also way too big, so I'm gonna do 50%. And here I'm also gonna do scale. Sorry, I'm gonna delete scale here. I'm gonna do scale in here. Yeah, it's good enough, I think. Maybe more speed. I kind of like so, but I would like to increase the gravity. And it really depends on your scene unit. And here I'm just kind of experimenting with how it looks. So I don't have any particular scale in mind, just the feeling and the look that I get from it. So here let's maybe do a collision. Let's do shape radius, ground collider. Also do it in here. So yeah, kind of like so. And then let's spawn another particles. And let's delete the parent, let's spawn 50 particles and do exactly the same thing as we did here. So we're gonna do this and we're gonna send this to here. Let's switch output size. Let's bring it in here. Let's see. Okay, and I don't need a collision in here. Let's maybe create more streaks. So I'm gonna go back in here and do 2. Yeah, I kinda like this. Now, for the actual streaks, let's add a force, quite big one, like so. Let's see, way too much. Maybe do slow for 30%, 50%. Yeah, this is good. Let's do a scale. Same as we did previously. We're gonna do timing continuous. We're gonna do a curve interpolation. Let's do 350 in here. Let's see. Yeah, this is good enough. Maybe let's do the duration of 70 frames. Yeah, I kind of like this. Maybe let's add some variation to this. Let's do bigger scale, bigger duration. So now that we created the base logic for the tricks, let's add the same spawn in here and then here. And let's see, we're gonna send them to this event as well. But I believe it's gonna be way too much. Yeah. It's pretty messed up, huh? So let's probably do 0.1% in here, and 0.1% in here. Let's see. It's way too much and the scaling is incorrect, so let's do the absolute in here. Let's do maybe 2000. Yeah, the 2000 looks, well, it's too big, I think. Maybe 1000. Let's spawn by travel. More. Let's do 2. Yes, now it's way too much still. Maybe I want this one to be only for the top, this one for the bottom, this one for the bottom and the mid one. Yes, so let's send them here. It's way too much. I forgot to send them to a new event, and the collision gonna be in here. I'm not gonna do random 3D, I'm gonna do random horizontal with the version of 70, and I'm gonna put the same limiter in here. Timing on event entry. They're not spawning in here, which is kind of weird. So let's see. Let's turn off the mid and the top one. Let's see the bottom. There are 0 particles in here. Oh, it's because of the collision, I think. So, let's see here. Yeah, it was because of the collision. So let's do 10%. Let's not do random horizontal, let's do particle Z with the version of 4560. Let's maybe play around with some noise. Like so. Just way too much of them right now. Yeah, kind of like this. I think this is good enough. Now for the actual collision, because they're spawning at the bottom. So what I would like to do is, before anything, I would like to spread them upwards. So let's do maybe 20 in here. Then we're gonna add a collision and let's do spread by 50, 50. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So now let's turn on the middle one and see what's going on in there. And yeah, I don't like that they're all going to the sides, so maybe we should send them not in here, but rather into this event. Let's see. Yeah, this is much better. Now, for the spread. Let's see here. I think 60 is alright. Yeah, I kind of like this. Let's see all together. And the top mushroom. A random 3D. Maybe let's add some noise as well. Let's turn on the mid and the bottom. Way too much. Maybe like so. Maybe a bit more gravity. So let's make them instants. Let's do 75 in here, because I would really like more speed at the beginning, but I would also like for them to kind of go down a lot faster. So let's see. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Maybe the scale is gonna be bigger. Let me think here real quick. So we're sending these to their own events. So the gravity here, the scale in here, scale up, slit in here, so maybe the scaling is gonna be 1000. And they suddenly just stop, so maybe we can extend this to 150 frames. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Yeah, I like that. What you also can do is to use a force, maybe add some wind to this. Maybe a bit more. I think it's way too much. So like this, let's do 50% variation. Like so. Yeah, I kind of like this here. Looks pretty organic to me. Now let's turn on everything. See the effect. If it's gonna be like just the beginning of the explosion, it's gonna be okay. You can also play around like in here. You can add some secondary movement to this. Very slow, subtle, and maybe scale them up more. You can also burn a lot more particles in here, so they're gonna take exactly the same look after a while. But yeah, this is kind of the base idea of this effect. Now what we can also do is to spawn lower particles. Not lower, but denser and small ones. So we're gonna do past instance in everywhere. Let's send them to their own event. Let's do this, this, and this. Let's send them in here. Let's speed. Let's add some speed. Maybe make a noise 10. Let's see. Too much. Let's also do a collision. Let's send them in here. Sorry, not in here. If they collide, they delete. We're gonna do scale. We're gonna do absolute, maybe 250. They're way too small and there's way too much of them. So let me see here. Maybe let's do 20%. It's still too much. 10%. Kind of like so. Yeah, but now for the speed, let's do 25. 25. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now let's also do force, or we can just grab this one from here. We can also do slowdown. What is this first? Not this one. This one. I don't need a dragon here. The gravity is way too much, so maybe let's do less gravity. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm gonna use the same ground here, not this one. So let me see here. Yep. Maybe a bit more speed because they're tiny. They're gonna spread a lot faster. Still way too much of them. So maybe let's do 5% or maybe 2%. Yeah, kind of like so. Yeah, I like that. Now, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna create some mapping for them. And the mapping is gonna be on each event. So I'm just gonna copy paste the mapping everywhere. Now we need the custom properties and we need the mapping in here. We're gonna set custom properties to, let's see what I did in my, I took the particle edge frames, set this to age, set all the timings to continuous, and here what I did is I took the not mapping from object, I took from custom float. I'm gonna put age in here and I normalize the values here. So now you can't really see it in viewport, but sorry, let me delete those. I'm gonna paste instance them. Into everywhere. Mapping. We don't need it here and we don't need it in the delete event. So now let's see if we can actually preview this. Let me check if I'm using the Vray. Yes, I'm using the Vray. So we're gonna go to Vray material. We're gonna assign this to selection. We're gonna go to maps, general, gradient ramp. Let's do a diffusion here. Let me see, show realistic. And you can already see that the performance here is so bad because it constantly updates the material and it also constantly updates the TyFlow. So once you actually add these, it becomes hard to work with TyFlow. But now let me change the input output, because we need the black to be at the end and the white to be at the start. And as you can see, it's not really working, or at least it's not doing what I wanted to do, because it's been already more than 5 frames and it's not really doing anything in here. It's kind of stuck in the middle somewhere around here. So maybe the normalize isn't actually doing what I think it should be doing. Now let's create the actual material. Oh, and by the way, I asked in the TyFlow group, Tyson said that in the viewport it's actually impossible to see the final result of the mapping gradient ramp, as it's gonna automatically always loop through in the viewport, but in the render it's working as intended. Let's see here, let's create our mapping data for 20 frames is okay. I also put the tree mesh everywhere. Let me just switch this back to geosphere low res so that we have a better performance. I would also like to turn off the material in here. You can go to utilities, remove material. Yeah, so now I would like to do the toon material in here, and the diffuse I'm gonna put it as a single matte, like so, as a single color. What we are interested in is the self-illumination. Let me find this. This is it. Let's do maybe multiplier 20. Let's see here. Let me just now let's see here. So I'm gonna do GI, maybe do 80 for multiply. And now the most important part is the gradient here. So I would really like to start from something close to white. Then it's gonna gradually come to be more yellowish, and then orangey, like so. Let's see, let's do maybe frame 15, see the gradient better. I think this is good enough. Maybe we can do bigger multiply. Thank you for watching and take care.